Hey, this is Mad Movie Mark of the Mad Movie Mark Movie Review. Thank you for joining me as I review the 2015 martial arts action extravaganza SPL II, A Time for Consequences, or as it's also known for some reason, Killzone 2. Hey, that's not very fair. That's also very rude of you to say. I think I have enough up here on my noggin to get this review finished. SPL II has a 100% fresh rating from the critics on Rotten Tomatoes and a 63% fresh rating from the audience. I'm currently reviewing every movie that has a 100% fresh rating from the critics in chronological order. Now, this movie stars Tony Jaa as Chachi, who is a bodyguard, Wu Jing as Chan Chi Kit, who is a cop, and Louis Ko as Mr. Hung, who is a organ trafficker. Now, this movie is very convoluted. The action scenes, so I don't watch a lot of martial arts action movies like this. Obviously, they're not meant to be like Oscar-winning performances. They're just meant to be fun, to show off a lot of cool martial art moves, and to, give you enough of a story to keep you interested while they're doing the martial arts. Now, this movie, it is very clear that these characters are on wires. In fact, there's a lot of scenes at the end of the movie where I was just laughing hysterically because their moves are so ridiculous that there's absolutely no way a human body can move this way. And even if you're talking about a martial arts movie where you give them a little bit of leeway because they're doing crazy scenes that can't be done in real life, this one kind of pushes the envelope a little too far, I feel like, and their bodies are just really contorting in ways that are just ridiculous and to me aren't even like appealing to watch. They're not even cool action scenes that are going on around me, and I was really the end of the movie, it just became a comedy to me, really, even though it's about a very serious subject. Now, aside from that, the acting is very good in this movie, especially for an action movie. They do a very good job. And the plot is very coincidental. There's a huge coincidence that they introduce in the middle of the movie that pretty much drives the end of the movie. And you have to really believe in this coincidence and believe that it's possible, and it's not just for the sake of the movie, because it needs to happen for the movie to work. You have to believe that this is possible to actually get through the rest of the movie, and I'm not sure that I did that. So SPL II, I'll start with Mr. Hung. Mr. Hung is a trafficker of human organs. So what he does is he kidnaps people, he kills them, he takes the organs out of their bodies, and then he sells them on the black market. Now, he is dying of a rare heart condition, and the only person, he has a very rare blood type to go with his rare heart condition, and the only person who can really save his life is his younger brother, who doesn't want to do that, because in order to do that, his younger brother would have to accept an artificial heart, and they explain that artificial hearts only last about 5 years, so his brother would be only living for 5 more years in order to let Mr. Hung live the rest of his life out. Now, Mr. Hung doesn't really care if his brother wants to do this or not. He plans on forcing his brother to give up his heart by like also drugging him and knocking him out and taking his heart and giving him this replacement heart that lasts 5 years. Now, Tony Jaa's character Chachi, he is a bodyguard for Mr. Hung, and his daughter has leukemia. Now, in order for her to get her treatments, he's working as the bodyguard, and he doesn't know that Mr. Hung is trafficking people's organs until later in the movie. And Mr. Hung offers to pay for his daughter's treatments and do whatever he needs to do for his daughter to get better. Now, his daughter is texting someone. She finds that there's a donor, there's a blood marrow donor who can help her become better and not be sick anymore. And she starts texting this guy. Now, his texts drop off towards the middle of the movie, and we'll learn about that later. So Chan Chi Kit is a cop, and he goes undercover to try to arrest Mr. Hung and try to stop this organ donation thing that's going on. Now his cover ends up getting uncovered, and they realize he's a cop, and they throw him in jail. Mr. Hung does, in like his own jail prison thing that he has going on. Now Kit, Chan-Chi Kit, and Chachi get into fights a couple times, martial arts fights. Now, Chachi beats him basically every time. It's not really that hard of a fight. Though they both are very, very fantastic martial artists, it's very obvious that the cop is out martial arted in the movie. So they have a bunch of fights back and forth. And then towards the middle of the movie, we learn when Chachi learns that Mr. Hung is trafficking these organs, he decides that he is going to turn on him, and he is going to align himself with Chan-Chi Kit. Now this becomes even easier when Chan-Chi Kit is, when he's originally found out and he's put in jail, he is first like taken on a boat, and he's taken on a boat to where Mr. Hung's area is, and his phone is thrown over the side of the boat. Now somehow, they're like in an ocean or in a big body of water. Now you would think that the phone would never be seen again. It wouldn't work. You know, it would. Phones are waterproof, but how much water can a phone really take on before it stops working? The battery would die. It's not being charged or something. But no, what happens is that some random person, I think he's a fisherman, ends up finding the phone. Apparently he can unlock the phone because he's able to use it. I don't know how he got the password or if he's a hacker. It's never mentioned how he was able to get into the phone, but he gets into the phone and he realizes that this little girl is trying to reach him and call him. And that is the very coincidental plot point at the middle of the movie where the cop, Chan-Chi Kit, is actually the person who is going to donate blood marrow to Sa, who is Chachi's daughter. Now, of course, when Chachi finds this out and when Chan-Chi Kit finds this out, then they really have to come together and work as a team, because he is now his Chachi's only hope, his daughter's only hope to get this blood marrow donation. So at the end of the movie, towards the middle to end of the movie, there's another guy named Azai, who is another like bodyguard of Mr. Hung. Now, Azai is an incredible martial artist. He can clear an entire room of like 20 people by himself without breaking a sweat. He gets into a fight at the end of the movie with Chachi and Chan-Chi Kit, and he just beats the heck out of both of them for like a really long time. And so one of them gets the upper hand, and I don't remember who it is, and they end up killing him in combat. And then at the end of the movie, Mr. Hung's brother ends up waking up, and Mr. Hung ends up not getting his organ transplant, and he ends up dying. And then I believe Sa gets her bone marrow, and everything ends up hunky-dory, fine, everyone's good to go at the end of the movie. That's basically the entire movie. I thought the plot of this movie was ridiculous. Even for like a martial arts movie that isn't really, you don't really need a solid, coherent plot for it to work. It didn't work for me because of the martial arts being so ridiculous, and I was never really like drawn into this movie at all. Wasn't really drawn to the characters. Now, the character of Chachi and the cop, I did feel for both of them, because Chachi has a daughter who's sick. He's in this situation where he needs his job because he needs to pay for this bone marrow transplant thing. He doesn't want to get fired, but then when he realizes what his boss is doing, he can't morally continue to allow that to happen. So there's a lot of inner struggle with him, and the struggle between him and Chan-Chi Kit as well. Now, Chan-Chi Kit is someone that you root for because, I mean, if you root for police officers, if you think that if you want the police officer to win in the end, then he's someone that you root for because he's the good guy, he's fighting on the good side, he wants to stop this ring from happening, and then at the end they band together. The coincidence is just too coincidental to me. Like the fact that the only person who has this blood marrow donation, or the one who's reaching out to this girl for the blood marrow donate or the bone marrow donation, is the same one who is the cop who is working with her father. It's just too it would never happen that way. It's like a 1 in 100 million chance or something that would happen. And it's just so ridiculous. Also, with the fact that his phone survived being in the ocean and the guy was able to unlock it somehow without knowing who owns the phone or like what the password is. Maybe he's a hacker, like I said, I don't know. But that was kind of ridiculous too. The ending seems a bit rushed. The whole plot at the end just really falls apart, and it just seems so rushed at the end where they're trying to kill off the bad guys and bring the good guys, to the forefront and have them win. It just seemed like it was all rushed for like a 2-hour movie. It didn't work for me. It wasn't firing on all cylinders, I would say. That being said, the acting, like I said, was really good. There are some martial arts scenes that aren't ridiculous, so I can't be I'll be harsh on the martial arts, but I'm not going to be too harsh because some of it was pretty okay. Not great, but it was okay. It was fine. I wasn't a huge fan of this movie. And apparently there's a third of this movie that's also about organ trafficking. I don't know if the first one was about that too, but like how many movies do you need about the same subject? I know the first movie I read, it's the same actors, but they play completely different roles, so it's like a whole different movie. You don't have to watch the first one to watch the second one, or the second one to watch the third one. But if you're going to do it like 3 movies in a row with the same actors, why are you making them all about the same thing? It doesn't make any sense. If you want a really fantastic movie that is about the same subject, I don't remember if it's a martial arts movie. I don't think it is, but it's about organ trafficking, just like this was. It's another foreign film called The Man from Nowhere, which is absolutely fantastic. It's phenomenal. It's way better than this movie. This movie didn't have a lot of the sins that some of the other movies that I didn't like had. So the score is still going to be probably a bit higher than it should be just because of the acting. I guess I did enjoy it a little bit, but not that much. I'm going to give it a 7.5 out of 10. I hope you join me next time when I review the drama made-for-TV movie called The Dresser. Thank you. Have a great day.